Right, perfect. Well, welcome again, everyone. My name is, welcome to today's CDS MS in Data Science Application Tips webinar. Let's first start with some self-introduction. My name is Dawn. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Affairs here at CDS, and I oversee the MS in Data Science program. So for today's webinar, I really do want to, start an application with everyone because we do have a February 1st deadline coming up, and I want to make sure you're all get like a nice practice with me today to about how to, get a successful application submitted. So throughout today's session, I ask you to use the Q&A chat box at the bottom of your screen for questions, and I will flag some of the questions to be answered at the end of the webinar. We'll have an FAQ section. I'll also, throughout the session, if I see any questions that's relevant to that slide or to that moment, I will answer the question live as well. And before we start today's presentation, I also want to reiterate that today's presentation is really gonna focus on the application for the MS in Data Science program only. So we will be covering specific details about what is needed to submit a competitive application. So if you want to, learn about general program information, for example, like the length of the program, curriculum design, and other program-related information, I would encourage you to watch the previously recorded program webinar on our website. And it is available on our homepage. If you Google BU CDS MS in Data Science, it will take you to our homepage. And then from there, I uploaded a previously recorded webinar. So again, this session is really going to only focus on how to submit your application. And if you have any questions as we go through the webinar, please put your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom page. Okay, so I'm going to continually share my screen so you can see what will happen when you fill out the application. So the first thing that I'm going to have to do is to start an application for the MS in Data Science program. If you haven't started application before, you will need to go to our website. Again, search BU CDS MS in Data Science, and it should lead you to this homepage. So let me start the presentation, stop the presentation, and actually start an application with you all. So you can all get to practice. Give me 1 sec. So if you Google BU CDS MS in Data Science, it will take you to our homepage here. And through here, you can scroll all the way down to graduate applications. And then you can click on that. We can start an application. But before we click on this page, I also want to show you, this is a great page with a lot of great information about if you're interested in learning about master, PhD, or bioinformatics. This is a good start page for all the programs that we offer at CDS. For example, right now we're here for MS in Data Science. You click here, and it would take you to another homepage for the program itself. And then from here, you can request information or again, start an application with us and read about all the program-related information. It has degree requirements, concentration, what are our concentration look like, and what's included, what are courses we offer. And then if you want to learn about admissions requirements, we have all these good sub-menu here that you can click on and read about as well. So admission requirement, if anything that I mentioned today, you forget somehow, definitely come back to this page because it has all the great information about application deadline requirements, stuff like that. Everything that you needed to know is available here. So again, a great page. So definitely bookmark it as you applying to the program. All right, let's go back to the main page, MS in Data Science, and then click on Start the Application Process. And from there, it will take you to our homepage of the application portal. So I already have an account set up, so it just pre-populated my login info here. But if you haven't, created an account, you haven't started the application, I want to remind you that today what we're doing is live. So if you just want to start an application with me, open your laptop, open your phone, and then go to this page, go to this link. Let's, start an application together. So let's pretend you don't have an account. What you will need to do is to click on Create Account. Click on that. And from here, you can just put in all your information, personal details, legal name, contact information, and other things. Create your passport, use a password and username, stuff like that. And then click agree and then create my account. Again, I want to remind you, if you're doing this with me right now, this is live and you are creating a real account. So do not put a dummy name, a fake name here, a fake contact information. Put your real name, real contact information, because we're going through this live and I am showing you how to do your application. So please do not create a fake account. All right, I'll give people 1 minute to fill out all the information. If you have questions, put in the Q&A chat box. All right, so if you have finished, and then you'll have your username and password ready. We'll go back to the main page here. And then this is a great page for you to check whether you're in the correct portal as well. Because at BU, we have over 10 colleges on campus, and then each college has their own master programs. So you don't want to end up at Metropolitan, right? You're applying to MS in Data Science for Boston University Faculty of Computing and Data Science. So this is a great way for you to confirm that you're at the correct application portal, because we cannot transfer applications. So if you accidentally went to the BU Metropolitan College, started an account with them, applied to Applied Analytics, unfortunately, I cannot transfer that application because although the portal looks same, but the system, it's a little different. So I cannot transfer it. So you have to make sure you're applying to MSDS to Faculty of Computing and Data Science. All right, let's put in all the information you have and sign in. All right. As you can see here, this is the main page. And then today, I'll go through all the 4 quadrants with everyone. And then once you finish all the quadrants, see there's a little green line here. You will go all the way down, meaning you finished everything. And that's the time when you can, go ahead and submit your application. But today we'll go through each one of them at a time. So the first thing that you would want to do once you log into the main page is to go to personal information. Okay, click on personal information. And then from here, this is where you fill out all your personal details, and we can just finish one by one together. And then once you finish, you will see a little green check button here that will shows you, that just indicates that you have finished this section. All right, let's go to biographic information. Again, I have my information put it here. So this part, your legal name. So when you create an account, you wanted to put your real name here. If you put a dummy name, this part is already pre-populated. There's no way for you to fix it. So I hope none of you guys create a fake account. And then display name, you can do however you want. And then next is formal name. If you have any formal legal name, this usually happens when people, get married, they may change their name, or for some reason you change your name and then the name on your transcript or on your diploma look different than the name that you have right now that you use to apply. Make sure to fill out this section if you do own a formal name. And then sex, and then gender identity. These are not required. So if you see a red button here, that's required, you have to fill out. But if you don't, we have, for these part, these are not required, but if you have any preference, preferred pronoun, feel free to add them here. And next is birth information, pretty intuitive. Once you finish, you can click save and continue. I saw somebody just raise his hand. If you have any question, please put in a Q&A box. I'll flag them and then answer them at the end. All right. Once you're finished, save and continue. And then we can go to the section on the left and just continue with the next part. Next part is contact information. Again, pretty intuitive. You just put where you currently live, where your home address is in this part, city, country. You can choose. There's all. We have all the countries listed here, so you can just put your home address here. Is this your permanent address? Yes or no. You could be an international student currently living in the U.S., so you can put your U.S. address here. And then select, yes, it's your permanent address. But if you're like going back home most of the time, you can put your, international address here as well for international student. All right, after address is your phone number. So you can put your phone number and email address here. And once you finish, hit save and continue. All right. Next is citizenship information. Okay, this is the part where things will get a little tricky. So let's start. First, select citizenship. So that, if you're US citizen, if you're permanent US resident, that means you are someone that have a green card. So you click on permanent US resident. Temporary, that will depend. So if you are some other temporary US resident category, you can click on this one. And then if you're international, you're likely to be a non-resident. So click on that. And you can start collect your citizenship. In this case, we can choose Australia. All right, do you have a dual citizenship? Yes or no? If yes, citizenship, the second one. If no, then it's no. Residency information. So for this part, you need to fill out where your home address is. So you can be international, unknown, or at other states and parts in the US. So we can do California, and then you can choose the county, and then how long have you been living there? For international students, we just moved here, a year, 2 years. Again, pretty intuitive. You just fill out what's the information here. How long have you lived in the US? 1 or 2 years. If you're overseas, if you live internationally, you just click on international, and then you will ask you county, and you just click NA. And then the last part, visa information. So do you have a US visa? If no, it's no. If yes, click on yes, and then it will ask you to fill out all the visa related information. So please have your passport ready, and then open to your visa page, and then follow what's on that visa page, the information on that US visa, and then fill out the information here. If you're currently, studying at a US institution as an international student, you might also want to, take out your I-20 on the site. That's a good place for you to find all this information and then fill out this part. Okay, again, once you fill it out, click Save and Continue. Next, it's race and ethnicity. Again, pretty intuitive. Ethnicity. Do you consider yourself to be Hispanic or Latino origin? Yes or no? Race. You can just click the one that applies to you. So I'm Asian, Japanese, save and continue. And then you will ask you want to go to continue next section with other information or go to the dashboard. Dashboard, it will lead you back to the 4 quadrant. Okay. So see, once you finish this part, there will be a little green check mark here, means you finished. So if you don't see this green check mark, that means that you are missing something. So please go back and then check again and make sure all the places that has this little red dot here are being filled out. And then as you can see, the quadrant went up a little bit because I finished one part. So once you finish everything, it will go all the way to the end. Right, next is other information. So you will have the opportunity here to fill out, your language. If English is not your first language, you can, add a second one, beginner, advanced. If you're a native speaker, it's advanced. If this is just a language you learned at school, it's probably, depending on the level you are, can fill out this part. And then we'll also give you an opportunity to fill out your military status, if you're on active duty, a veteran, or other. Social Security, this part's not required for the application. You can fill it out or not. It's totally fine. It's mainly for later when you are admitted. Our financial aid officer will reach out to you, and then we'll start the process of filling out FAFSA, stuff like that. So that will be the time where we really need your Social Security. So for the application itself, if you don't feel like you want to put in Social Security, that's totally fine. You can leave it here, leave it blank here. But if you do plan to, fill out any financial forms later for the school, you can just put your SSN here. It will just make things a little bit easier. But again, if you don't feel comfortable, totally fine. Are you first gen or not? Select on that. And then misconduct. So we really want you to be honest. If you have any prior academic misconduct, please select yes, and then give us a little bit details. It has a little guide here to tells you what you should be, putting in this box here. So please be honest, and then we will not hold it against you or anything. Please just be honest when you're filling out this part. If you don't have any prior academic misconduct, just select no. Okay, I saw a question coming in. Says the application form says the program I'm applying to is MS in Computing and Data Science. Okay. Yep, it is the same program. It is the same program. So the application says MS in Computing and Data Science. When you are applying to MS in Data Science. So there are some things that's happening with the application. We'll get that figured out. But if you see your application showing Computing and Data Science instead of just Data Science, that's totally fine. You are applying to the correct program. And the degree is STEM eligible. Okay, I saw another question coming in. I am a US citizen, but haven't stayed here long enough to have residency information. So if you're a US citizen, what you need to do is just to click on citizenship here. If you're a US citizen, just click on US citizen. As for this part, you can put international because residency is where you currently live, right? If you don't live in the US, just put in international and then put the country where you like currently living in. So it's totally fine. Another question, under US citizenship status, should foreign citizens select non-resident? Okay, if you're a foreign citizen, please select non-resident. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go back to the main page. So go back to my application, you click on here. And then next part, we will fill out academic history, supporting information, and program materials. But before that, I want to take everyone to the very top. See, there are like 4 different tabs here that you can click on. And what I want to take you to is the second tab, Add Program. So please click on Add Program. This is where you will be adding your program to the application, because each program will ask you different things to fill out. And then the major difference is within the number 4 quadrant, program materials. So each program asks you a different set of materials. So you have to make sure you're applying to the correct program. So let's go back to Add Program. These are all the programs that's currently offered within CDS, Faculty of Computing and Data Science. We have a bioinformatics for the fall, and also an MS and also a PhD program. So you wanna make sure in our case, click on, so see the plus button here. So you can just click on plus, and then you will turn into a green check. Please note that for each entry term, so right now, all the 3 programs are for fall semester. For each entry term, you can only apply to 1 program. So you can't apply to all 3 programs here. You have to select one, either apply to the MS in DS or PhD in DS or bioinformatics. Another way to check, because bioinformatics has a spring entry, you want to make sure your entry term is correct. The year is correct. The deadline looks correct. Okay, so in this case, everything's correct. You click the plus button, you're all set. And then let's go back to my application. All right, before we jump in, let me answer a couple questions. I saw there's question asking, I submit my application, can I get the application fee waiver? So unfortunately, if you submit the application, we cannot refund the fee waiver. But if you haven't, we will be giving out fee waiver today, and then I'll let everyone know how to receive that fee waiver at the end of this webinar. Okay, so let's go to academic history. Again, same thing. You need to put in your college, GPA, standard test. Let's first go to college attend. So for this part, let me delete this. Then we'll do it together. Oh, that's strange. Okay, so if you just, it's not letting me go back to, okay, if you're on this page, it will probably ask you add a college, like this blue section here, it will probably say add a college. So what you need to do is click on there and then, start filling out information. Okay, this is a fake university. Merrimack is a local university, so you put in whatever university you win, and then did you plan to obtain a degree from this college or not? Yes or no. And then are you still attending this college? Yes or no. Again, pretty intuitive. And then whether this institution, it's semester, quarter, trimester. And when did you attend this college and university? So you can just fill out the information. When was your first time, entering it, and then finish all of that here and then hit save. Okay. And then after that, GPA entries. We received a lot of questions about this part. I know a lot of international students, your transcript or your grades are not in a, you're not graded on the 4.0 grading scale. So that's totally fine. If that's your case, you can just skip this part. I believe there is a section, again, there's something wrong with the proto here, but I believe there's a section just like this one says, I am not adding any GPA. Like there's a part where it's supposed to show there. You can just click on, I'm not adding a GPA here. And it's fine. Our admissions specialist, everyone on the admissions committee are pretty trained well to read international transcripts. So do not worry if you don't have a GPA, for your undergraduate grades. So that's totally fine. You can just skip this part. But if you do have a grade that's graded on 4.0 scale, put your GPA here. And if you are an international students that got your transcript evaluated by a agency like WES, and then they will likely give you a GPA as well. You can put that GPA in the here as well. Okay, so that's GPA part. Again, if you don't have one, you can skip it. It's totally fine. Standardized test. Okay. So there are two parts. One is the language test. If you're international students and you don't meet the waiver requirement, you have to submit a test score. So this is where you submit your score. All you need to do is to add a test score. I know some students are doing Duolingo. For Duolingo, you can just click on add a standardized test here and then add your Duolingo score. During the application process, we don't necessarily ask you for your official test score report because we know that costs money. If you ask TOEFL, IELTS, send us a score, I think it costs like a good dollar amount. We don't want you to spend money on that. You can just upload a unofficial copy, a copy where you can go into your test center and then download, an official copy in a PDF format. You can just download them and upload it right into here. That's totally fine. But if you get admitted, and we will then chase you down and ask you for an official copy. So that will be the time when you send us official copy. But during the application stage, we don't want people spend money, sending us official scores. But if you do want to send us official scores, that's totally fine. Send it to us. For TOEFL, the code is 3087. For IELTS, all you need to do is to select BU Faculty of Computing and Data Science, and then that should you should be able to find us there and send out score there. And for Duolingo, please have the Duolingo Test Center email us your official score to our cds-admissions@bu.edu address. Okay. For GRE is not required. GRE or GMAT, it's optional, totally optional. But if you would like to add that to be part of your application, you can just, again, add a unofficial score report here. But if you're someone that doesn't want to, submit a GRE and you meet the waiver of TOEFL, IELTS, you don't need those language test scores submitted, just click on I'm not adding any standardized test. And then that part will be skipped for you. Okay, so let me take a look at the question part. So the transcript, you can just leave it as is. Okay, we don't want you to, go, if you're someone that's coming from a trimester university, we don't want you going and then, go to your transcript center and then like ask your registrar office to change it to a semester based. Like, you don't need to do anything. Submit the original, authentic copy of your transcript. Just make sure if it's a grade that's graded on 4.0, put your GPA there. If it's not, just submit your copy of transcript. Again, our admissions committee are very well trained on reading international transcripts, so do not worry that we will, read or understand your transcript in a negative way. What does total credit hours mean? Enter GPA. So total credit hours, if you went to a US institution, it should be available on your transcript. Okay, that just means the total credits that you received. Or if you, normally it's like 100 or 120, around 120 credits. So that's where you go to your transcript and then it should show you a total credit amount that you received. So put that amount. Yes, so if you have 117, then you should put 117 there. And if you really can't find your total credit hour, again, do not worry, you can leave it blank. We will, because we have your copy of a transcript. So again, our committee will still go to your transcript and, get information that we need from your transcript. If you don't know where to find them, leave it blank, totally fine. Again, GRE is optional. WES evaluation. I know a lot of international student has question about that. If you want to, you can, it's optional. If you already have it evaluated, then submit it. If you haven't, just make sure your transcript is in English. So you probably will want to, I know some international university give out English version of the transcript. You can just submit that copy. Or if your institution does not give out English version, then please have it translated by a certified agency. Okay, do not translate yourself. Have someone professional or certified agency translate it for you. And then please, when you submit your original copy and also the certified translated copy of your transcript all together, uploaded into your application. Okay. For TOEFL waiver, we'll talk about that later. There's no greater way. You can submit either one, Duolingo, TOEFL, IELTS, however you want, whichever one you want. We don't have a preference. Unofficial copy of TOEFL is fine. Okay, if you are someone went to BU, your undergrad is BU, it's the same protocol. You still need to email the registrar office or go to your BU student account and download an unofficial copy. And then when you are admitted, you also need to ask BU registrar office to send us an official copy as well. Okay. All right, we're running out of time. Let's go back to the main part. And then next, let's go to program materials and leave supporting information the last. Program materials. See, since we previously add the correct program, see, it will show up here, Computing and Data Science, MS. What you need to do is click here, and then it will take you to the main page to answer all the program related information and upload the required program materials. Again, make sure to read here and here, and then do some spot check. Okay, MS faculty February 1st. Okay, correct. I'm in the correct page. I'm applying to the correct program. All right, after that, you go to question. This part is very important for us, for the admissions committee, because again, we will ask you to put your GPA, just repeat the same process here for us. And like it mentioned here, if it does not give numeric GPA, please enter NA. And then this part is what I want to highlight today. Okay, we do want you to list up to 10 advanced course and relevant grades that you have taken as undergrad or master students. So these relevant courses are in the category of like data science, math. So if you go into the prerequisites that we ask, you can use those the list of prerequisite courses that we require on the website as a reference, and then putting, you know, relevant courses in here. So again, anything data, programming, math, statistic, calculus, related. Please do us a favor, go into your transcript, find those courses and list them all here with their name and your grade. For example, you can put calculus 1A. Okay, that easy. And you just list everything that you have here. All right. So that's that part. You will want to have your transcript on handy to go and find all the information for us. Additional information, also highly recommended for everyone. If you have your personal website or GitHub profile or any like LinkedIn profile or any other portfolio that you want to share with the committee, dump right in here. Okay, we definitely, you know, if anyone provide anything, we will go and, you know, read about you and learn more about your project experience. I know a lot of people may have a GitHub and put all your projects up there. So this is a great way for us to, you know, learn a bit more about you. Also a great way for you to share some additional information, additional details on what are the things that you have, you know, worked on. So if you have these portfolios that you would like to share, make sure to include them in this section. Okay, next, document. For documents, what we are asking is pretty simple. Okay, personal statement, your CV, or resume, or some other document that you think will be, you know, beneficial or help the admission committee to learn a bit more about you. You can, you know, upload it right in here. For CV, we ask you to, you know, list the dates and name of the company, your title for each of the experience that you had. And then for personal statement, we have a good piece here. Please read. For personal statement, we ask you to submit a statement that's not fewer than 200 words. But we also don't want you to submit an essay that's 1,000 words or 800 words. I'll say like around 200 to 500, it's a good amount. But if you go over 500, it's fine, no big deal. But if you haven't, you know, finished your personal statement and you have the time to edit, keep it around 200 to 500. And read about this statement here because it will give you a pretty good guide on what to include in your personal statement. Okay, after you finish uploading them, you want to go to the next part, recommendation. So for this program, we ask 2 recommendations to be submitted. But if you want submit additional letter recommendation, you can submit up to 3. Okay, no more than 3. 2 required, up to 3 total. What you will need to do is click on the plus button here, and then put your recommender's first name, last name, email address. The due date here, I highly recommend everyone to utilize this part because as we all know, recommenders are super busy. So you probably want to give them a due date. And I usually recommend the due date to be, you know, the deadline, right? So this case is February 1st. But if they need more time, you know, kindly ask them like, how long do you need, right? And then give them a reasonable deadline around the time that you think they will be able to submit. So this, so the system will send out, reminders and remind them to submit these by the deadline. So definitely utilize this part, and then if you plan to apply to the program by the second deadline, April 1st, then right now it's a good time for you to reach out to recommenders. So start early. And then if you want to, put a personal note here, like, hi, Professor XYZ, I'm applying to this program. Can you please submit a letter for me? Blah, blah, blah. You can put, a little nice personal note here if you want to send it to them. So this be the part. Waiver of recommendation. So make sure you fill out this part. I waive my right of access the recommendation, yes or no. Either one, it will not negatively, impact your application if you select no. It's just mainly people select yes. But if you select no, you will just, I think you will gain access to the recommendation letter, so you can, read about what your recommender write about you. But in majority of cases, people just select yes, waive the right. Okay. And then permission to contact the recommender, permission for the school to contact. You just click yes, yes, and then save. And then once you save this one, you can add the second recommender. It will be a pretty simple, intuitive process for you to follow along. Okay, once you finish everything, you will see some green button here, and then the quadrant will go all the way down here to mark as complete as well. All right, let's go back to the last part, supporting information. So for this part, you really just have one thing, is to say yes to this release statement. Make sure you read about the statement. It just talk about all the privacy statement that BU has, and then we just want you to make sure, read about it, and we will protect your privacy and stuff like that. And you click yes, and then we just go save and continue. And this part's finished. So that's the easiest part. Like this, once you finish, see, turn green. If you haven't finished anything, you're missing anything, it will remind you that you're missing something. So please go back in and make sure you fill out everything, and make sure all 4 of them look like this at the end. All right. Once you finish everything, you wanted to submit application. So what you need to do is to go to submit application on the top, click on here, and then submit. So at the so now I want to talk about application fee waivers. Everyone that attend today's webinar will receive a waiver, but it's not an automatic waiver. What you will need to do is email our inbox. So it's cds-admissions@bu.edu. Let me put in the chat for everyone. CDS- So email this inbox and then say, hey, I attended the webinar today, and then I would like to, receive a application fee waiver from it. Okay. Once you do that, you will receive a coupon code back from our staff. And then when you click submit all here, it will ask you to put either credit card information or the coupon code. So all you need to do is, put in that coupon code. Please make sure do not put in your credit card information. As I mentioned earlier, if you already paid or put in your credit card information, we will not be able to refund you. Okay, that's that. Let's go back to, we have 30 minutes left. I just want to quickly went through a couple of more things here before the end of the webinar today. All right, application checklist. Again, transcript unofficial from institution in which you receive your undergrad or graduate degrees, 2-letter recommendation, CV, personal statement, proof of English proficiency, and GRE. So pretty simple application materials that we ask. And then a couple things about transcript. Transcript, we only ask on official during application stage. Again, because when you submit official transcript, your school will likely to ask you for money, and we don't want you to do that. So what you can do is go to your student portal, go ask your registrar office to get you a free unofficial copy, and you can just make sure it's in PDF format and upload it into our system, okay? Or if you only have a hard copy, scan it, make sure it looks clear, make sure it's saved, your scanned copy are saved in a PDF version, and then again, upload it right into the system for us. If you did transfer, you did study abroad, make sure send us transcript of the place where you received 12 or more credits. If you just did one study abroad, let's say in Greece for one semester, and it's likely the school in Greece are not going to give you a transcript. It's just going to be time consuming for you to get transcript for that one course. That's totally fine. If it's under 12, it's not required for you to submit the transcript. But if it's over 12 credits that you receive from the institution, please contact them and send us your transcript. And again, make sure your transcript is in English. If it's not, make sure you ask for a certified agency to do the translation for you, and then upload your certified translation and original copy all together into your application. And if you have problem uploading it, a lot of students have problem uploading because your PDF size is too large, too small, you run into all kinds of issue like that. Totally fine. If that happens to you and you couldn't figure out why you just can't upload it, you can just simply email it to us, to our inbox, cds-admissions@bu.edu. Email your transcript and say, hey, my name is XYZ, I'm applying to XYZ program. This is my copy. And then the email address that you used to register for the application account is blah, blah, blah. So it's good to include all that information and also your application ID, okay? Next, letter recommendation. Okay, can be professional or academic. We don't have a preference. If you worked a couple of years, you don't know any professor anymore, and you want to ask your supervisor to submit your letter, totally fine. But if you just freshly graduated from undergrad, your letter will likely to be to academic one. So we don't have a preference. Just make sure they will speak to your strengths and weakness, speak to your project experience, or anything, and that they had worked with you, and then why you're pursuing an MS in data science. Resume and CV, we don't have, make sure you listed all the dates and years at the place that you interned or had a full-time experience. And then if you have other portfolio that you want to include and you forgot to put in the application at that section that we mentioned earlier, you can include it in your resume as well. So that's also a good place for us to check and then see if you have any additional thing that you would like to share with. Ideally, it should be 1 to 2 page, but if it's more than 1 to 2, that's totally fine. You can. I know for some of the students who have a lot of research and publications, you may have more than 2 pages. So if we go beyond 2, that's fine. But ideally, 1 to 2 page. Personal statement, again, no fewer than 200 words, likely to have your essay in between 200 to 500 words. If you really just have so much that you want to share and it go a little bit over 500 words, that's totally fine. Please do not submit a personal statement that's over 1,000 words, because that's more likely like a research statement rather than a personal statement. So please be a little intentional when you write your personal statement, and make sure to write it in a very clear and concise manner. Okay. Next is English proficiency. So we, international students, we will likely ask you for a English test score. However, if you went to a US institution and received your degree there, then this requirement will be waived. But if you're like, I did 2 years in China, and then I transferred to a US institution here for my undergrad, does that count? Yes. So as long as you spend 2 years at a US institution and received your degree, your diploma from that US institution, we will waive it for you. Okay. So kind of not very related to this, but on another note, if you are a students where your degree is 3 years, a UK degree or an Indian degree, that's only 3 years, it's not a 4-year bachelor degree, totally fine. We also accept 3-year degrees as long as it's a bachelor degree. And then we have other, given the sake of time, if you want to read more about English proficiency, go on our website or email us to our inbox. We can help you, check whether you qualify for this waiver or not. But if you do submit, TOEFL requirement 90, IELTS 7, Duolingo is 130. Okay, optional test score. Again, completely optional. You can submit on official score in the application. We don't have preference between GRE or GMAT or whether you want to submit it or not. So the MS in Data Science program is a rigorous program that requires quantitative attribute. So the admission committee will look for evidence of this in your application via your previous coursework. So that's likely your, your transcript or other evidence from your resume and personal statement. But if you feel like that's not strong enough, you want to, put in something additional for the committee, submit a GRE or GMAT score. Again, totally optional. How we decide, we really look at everyone's application holistically. We will look at every piece of material that you submit, any supporting document, all the required materials. And then decisions are made based on the competitiveness of the applicant pool. So every year, the applicant pool will look a little different. So we'll make decision, based on the pool that we received that year. And then some other things we'll look into, like how much value you will bring in, how much value you'll receive from, okay, that's data science. Not sure why it's there, to the data science program. Okay, deadlines. First deadline, February 1st. International students are highly encouraged to apply by the priority deadline. Final deadline, April 1st. So a lot of people have questions about these two. First foremost, there's no difference between these two deadlines. You can apply to either one. It's just, if you're international students, we highly, highly encourage you to apply by February 1st because it is so hard to get a visa appointment nowadays. So if you can apply earlier, you will get a decision earlier. You can start that visa process earlier. So, but if you can't get your application ready, apply by April 1st, because we'd rather to have a ready application than a rushed one. Okay. Any other difference? The application review process will remain the same. We're not looking at things differently, but if you apply by February 1st, we haven't admitted anyone, right? So if you apply by April 1st, we'll probably only have a couple seats, a fewer seats left to enter the program. So that's, I think that's the only difference here. But again, if you don't feel ready, do not apply by February 1st. Wait rather to see a ready application than a rushed one. And what will happen after you submit your application? So we'll do a review and make sure you have all the materials that we ask for. If we don't have everything, we will reach out to you and ask you to submit what's missing. But if you don't hear from us, That's actually good news, means we're moving it onto the next stage, reviewing it. And once we finish reviewing it, we will release the decision. So for everyone that applied by February 1st, I know some of you probably already, submit your application in November, but haven't heard back. We're working on it. Once the February 1st deadline passed, we will start releasing decision gradually. And then all the decision will be released before the February 1st deadline. So you will if you apply by February 1st, you'll definitely hear from us by April 1st. And then I'm very confident to release the decision earlier than February 1st. April 1st. So stay tuned. If you don't hear from us, it's good news. Just wait to hear a decision from us. Last is contact information. This is our main inbox. If you have any general questions, email our inbox. We have a team that's monitoring the inbox. We'll get your question answered. But if you have other questions, very specific financial aid questions, stuff like that you want to gain more insights, feel free to shoot me a message or schedule a chat with me. Okay, we don't have much time left. Okay, 1 minute. For those of you who needed to go, feel free to, log off. I'm sorry about, taking this so long. I'm gonna go answer a couple more questions. So if you want to stay, feel free to stay, and then I'll share the video later, and you just email everyone the recorded webinar so you can have that when you applied. And that will likely happen next week. Okay, so if you don't hear from me this week about this webinar, don't worry, I'll send it to everyone next week. I promise. All right, let me look at the questions of quite a lot. Do you have scholarship for international students? Great question. Yes, we do. We give a merit-based scholarship. There's no additional application for you to fill out. It will be an automatic process. Everyone will be considered, and if you receive any scholarship, you will know when we send out decisions to you. So you will show, there will be a dollar amount shown on your decision letter. Application fee waiver, again, email the inbox. And then my team member will send you a coupon code. And then when you submit your application, make sure you put in the coupon code, not your credit card information, because we cannot refund you. Okay. Is there any way to add experience, update resume? Yes, if you want to add more experience, update your resume, and then you happen to be someone already submit your application, totally fine. Email the inbox. Say, hey, I'm XYZ. I'm applying to XYZ program. This is my application ID. And actually, let me stop sharing. And I'll turn camera on. So just, put your full name and your application ID, and then say, hey, I want to submit an updated resume. So just upload it send it with your email so we can, we'll look at it for you. We'll upload it, but make sure send that to us as soon as possible, because we were reviewing applications. So there's a chance if you've submitted by February 1st and you didn't give us your updated resume, you give us your updated resume like in March 30th, then there's a chance that we're not going to have the chance to look at it. Your application is probably reviewed by then. So if you want to send us any updated stuff, personal statement, transcript, or anything, send it to us as soon as possible. Do you need to upload your diploma? You don't have to, but if you want to upload it, that's totally fine. Could you clarify how to convert GPA from 10 to 4? Again, you don't need to convert it. Just submit your original. It's okay that you don't have a GPA that's based on a 4.0 scale. And if you already have your transcript, which in your case looks like you already have it evaluated by Wes, then Wes will give you a GPA. Just put the GPA that Wes gave you on their report. Okay. Okay, update your resume. Yes, send to the inbox. And I have another question. I studied calculus, but my calculus is called engineering mathematics. Is that okay? Yes. So it doesn't need to look like have the same name. As long as the nature of that course is teaching you calculus knowledge, teaching you programming, Python, just put the name of that course that you took. And we know that each institution may call it differently. But we don't want you to make up courses because we will, look into your transcript too. And then we don't want to be like, why are you putting calculus? But on your transcript, you don't see any calculus class. So make sure put things that's only on your transcript that's related to the prerequisites that we listed on our website. Again, there's no difference between the two deadlines. Apply when you feel you're ready. Okay, we don't want to rush the application. My personal statements, I'll say that's a little too long. I'm sure you'll have way to, shorten it. Because think, a lot of things you probably mentioned are already in your resume, or in your transcript. Just think and then make sure you mention things, you don't repeat things that's already, existing. Personal statement, it's a place where you provide a little bit additional info. So again, make sure it's written in a clear and concise manner. Right. Maximum word, we don't have maximum word. I recommend 200 to 500 word for your SOP. Right. And visit. Okay, according to a admission requirement, applicants are expected to have earned degree related to data science, majored in business, yet that satisfies. Just make sure you have all the prerequisites that we ask. We have a list, it's on our website. Go to our website, read that list. If you have fewer than 4 classes from that prerequisite list, then I would encourage you to go to places like a local community college or Coursera to get that prerequisite fulfilled before you apply. IELTS score, yes, 7 across all band. Okay, if your institution's language of instruction is in English, then you meet the waiver. But please make sure when you submit your transcript, I'm sure your university will also be able to provide you a official letter or official any kinds of documents saying like, hey, we are XYZ University and we use English for instruction. Like, make sure you also upload a document that that mentions that. Right. Okay, let me see the question part. If you study abroad and then you receive more than 12 credits, make sure you list that institution and then request for a transcript and send it to us. Someone, where do you find prerequisites? You know what? Let me go on the website and send it to everyone. So it's on our main page. Again, if you forget anything that we mentioned today, it's very likely available on our page. So I send a link to the chat. That's our main page. Go to our main page. It's a great way to read again everything that I mentioned today. Okay, I know if you're someone who's a senior and you're likely, didn't receive all your grades, and especially for the coming up spring semester, you don't have a grades yet. You probably only have a list of courses listed on your transcript. That's totally fine. Just submit a, up to date, like today transcript. So it's okay that your spring course doesn't have a grade yet. Any loans for international students? BU doesn't offer any loans. I encourage you to do some search and then see if you are qualified for FAFSA. Oh, but you're international. Then yeah, international students will likely. I know some international students will ask their local bank for loans, so maybe you can start, ask around and see if any of your local bank can provide a personal loan for you. Okay, someone asked, my transcript is in English, but my GPA scale is 5.0. Again, you don't need to do anything. You can just put an A. We are all well trained. We can read international transcript. And it's okay if it's not 4.0. All right. Perfect. Sorry, everyone, we're 10 minutes over. I just want to say thank you again to everyone that's joined for this webinar today and joined me and then, learned about this program. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Feel free to shoot an email to the cds-admissions@bu.edu inbox or my personal email. I would love to, help you out with any questions you have. And we look forward to seeing your application soon. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.